Yes, Nithyananda everyone. Nice to be with you all again. See you all again. Good to be back. So we're starting with Ramakrishna. So this has been one of the readings Swamiji has suggested. The early history of Ramakrishna movement, Swami Prabhupada. So actually ended up getting this from Kindle. So this is the Kindle version. So you can find it there. It was something like $3 for the Kindle version. So yes, amongst other things, it seems that this writing will involve revealing things about the early developments in the Ramakrishna mission. So that's pretty much most of what I know about it so far. So we're just going to take a look into the Kindle version here. So let's see what we have. I'm going to get right into this. Pretty excited about it to find out everything. So we're just going to start. Actually, let us start with Sadguru Vandanam. Nithyanandam Paramashukaram Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Kagana Sarisham Tattvamasya Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunaraitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Yes. Great. I just wanted to share also, we do have a WhatsApp group with a daily routine. So if you're interested to get into morning yoga, puja, vakarta sadas, healing, meditation, manifesting shaktis, and these types of, we'll also be doing Bhagavad Gita and Living Enlightenment, daily reading. So yeah, there's a WhatsApp group you can get into if you want to. If you can't find it, just send me a message. I'm just checking two of the displays here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's get into it. Yes. So we see that program was necessary. So we'll bring it back up. Okay, there it is. We can see again. Yeah, that's it. We're going to get started. The birth of the Ramakrishna movement. None can deny that the Ramakrishna Sangha as a community and as the corporeal body of Sri Ramakrishna has today become a real source of power and glory. It stands out as a symbol of living truth, of service and renunciation, of peace and harmony in a world torn by hatred and discord. Naturally, it may be asked if this Sangha is a new shoot on an old tree or in itself an entirely new tree. The historical perspective. The establishment of the Buddhistic order known as Sangha and still worshipped by the Buddhists was an important event in history. The pre-existence of corporate bodies of ascetics at the time of Gautama Buddha has led some scholars to conclude that the Buddhist Sangha was not a new phenomenon in Indian society, but rather represented a greater development of already established Brahmanical groups. Be that as it may, the bhikkhu community virtually became one of the constituent communities of the body politic. Though at first a dispersed collection of wanderers, by 100 years after Buddha's death, the bhikkhus constituted a well-organized community. Dr. Satkari Mukherjee remarks, the greatest genius of the Buddha lay in the organization of the ascetic order and the creation of a code of rules and regulations for the conduct of monastic life. During the long stretch of nearly 17 centuries, 500 BC to AD 1200, when Buddhism had its place among Indian faiths, the Buddhist monks organized in sanghas profoundly influenced India's traditional culture through their activities and achievements. Although Swami Vivekananda held Buddha in high reverence, this rich Bhidic tradition of Buddhism was perhaps neither the precursor nor a direct stimulus to the founding of the Ramakrishna Sangha. A movement refers to a group of people, large or small, who share the same beliefs or ideas, or who try to secure a common goal outside the sphere of established contemporary institutions. The dividing lines between movements and sanghas or formal organizations are sometimes blurred because movements that become well established usually take on bureaucratic characteristics. A social or religious movement may thus gradually become a formal organization. Consequently, if and when the organization becomes characterized by general society acceptance of the goal sought, it reaches the stage of institutionalization. Whereas the Ramakrishna Sangha, with its two wings, the Ramakrishna Mutt and the Ramakrishna Mission, has now spread through its more than 170 units in India and abroad, it is still, perhaps, in the phase of a movement awaiting global acceptance of its ultimate goal, the goal of spiritualizing the entire human race. Viewed from another perspective, however, it is observed that the Ramakrishna Sangha, a more or less institutionalized organization, lies at the core of a fairly large body of admirers and supporters of the Sangha, and a growing number of unaffiliated institutions as well as individuals upholding the same or similar objectives lie at the periphery. Thereby, the entire mass gives the impression of a growing movement. In the Hindu tradition, we find the ancient lawgiver Manu mentioning grama, desha, and sangha. Meratiti, his commentator, defines sangha as a group of persons of the same persuasion belonging to different localities or of different classes, as for instance the sangha of bhikkhus, the sangha of merchants, the sangha of men learned in the 4 Vedas. Though the word sangha was used to denote a group of monastics, there was hardly any significant organized monastic community with a common law to guide it. On the other hand, from time immemorial, monasticism among isolated individuals in eremitical form was quite popular. The Daksha Smriti disapproves of sannyasi mituna, a group comprised of 2 monks, sannyasi grama, a group comprised of 3 monks, and sannyasi nagara, a group comprised of more than 3 monks. It does, however, commend the concept of a solitary monk. The Srimad Bhagavatam too discourages the founding of a growing monastery. Seen against this background, the founding of the Ramakrishna order was a unique phenomenon. It is an interesting and inspiring task to trace its history. Hegel thought of history as an idea, the idea which, he said, struggles constantly to become the absolute idea. In the religious history of India, the idea has made pilgrimage from incarnation to incarnation, each time moving closer to the absolute idea, manifesting itself with an increasingly complete revelation to squarely meet the challenge of the ages until it culminated in Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of a boundless, harmonizing, all-embracing idea never seen before. It is in this context that Swami Vivekananda has called Sri Ramakrishna Avatara Varishta, the greatest of all incarnations. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. This concludes our session for today. Please leave your comments and questions. I'm going to continue with this because it is super exciting and I can't wait to see what the next sentence is. But for right now, we're going to complete this session chanting the Purna Mantra, and we'll begin the next session very shortly. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sarvam Bhagavad Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Parukar Punamastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you, everyone. Nithyanandam.